Welcome to this program. News is one of the integral part of our common life. Be it in the newspaper or radio or television or the recent development in social media, we are bombarded with the information, news, analysis, opinion and many more segment through news institutions. There are variety of institutions, as I mentioned, radio, television, everything there. As a common reader of news, we come across variety of news, and we are familiar with the developments. We are eager to know more about that. But you need to know about the factors, institutions, the people playing a major role behind the news developmental process. Understanding news is the crucial component for any common person to critically look into the news components. Reading a news means we are opening our mind for others to occupy, to change our opinion, to change our knowledge. That we should not allow that. Whatever decision we want to take on any matters related to personal or professional life or public life, it has to be based on our own informed decisions. Remember that informed decision is understanding news in a very holistic manner. That includes reading the news, understand the news in a very context manner, and participate in the news. These are the three pillars of news media literacy. We are going to learn about the news developmental process from media literacy point of view. There are three segments in this program we are going to discuss about that. One, understanding the news development and its significance. Role of media literacy in analyzing the news, and what is the importance of news media literacy. These three are interconnected. We have to be more media literate person in order to understand news. To understand the news, we have to understand the various stages of news developmental process. Let's start with understanding the concept called news. What is news? If you look at the definition of news, news is something comes from different sections. That's why the news is sometimes it's abbreviation of north, east, west, and south. But the very common definition available in the academic circle is the news is the latest developments and on various issues of national interest or international level or regional level. So anything new, anything important, anything relevant for the public, that is being called as a news. There are criteria in which the news are being decided. Criteria in the sense there is no written rule. Nobody has written a 10 point, a 15 point scale or factors through which news needs to be selected. No. These are unwritten, unwritten points, but conventional matters. For example, if you take today's newspaper, or if you go through the evening news bulletin in the television channel, you go across various channels or try to go through various newspaper. If not physical copy, you can go through mobile or computer. Check that. The front page of major newspapers must be having common news items, latest development, important developments. Similarly, if you go across various news channels in the prime time, you will find a lot of commonality. They might have covering a latest development, important developments. Are they sitting in one location to decide that this is what we are going to cover today? This is what we are going to discuss that? No. Each newspaper, each television channel or news portal, they'll take a decision for the important news item that needs to be highlighted, and the remaining news item goes in a secondary level, and majority of the stories I want to kill it. Right, this is the criteria. Criteria in the sense the newsworthiness. something relevant, something important and close to the city, proximity and significance in terms of political, social and cultural level. So these are the factors in which the news editor or the people involved in the newsroom, they'll identify the story, and within the identified story they'll put a hierarchy. Okay, 10 stories are identified for a front page, which one goes for the top? Depends upon the significance. The major development, remember that the definition of major, you can understand that major and minor. These are some are common routine matters. They may not be highlighted, but something unique, something different. It has more impact. A lot of people might be interested to read. That is a criteria through which the news is being highlighted. The common journalism training context is it's being trained in every training sittings. The trainer or the instructor or the professors always instruct the learn new journalism students saying that you have to develop a news sense. This is called a news sense. This conventional rules of identifying a stories, that is called news sense. You have to develop it. Over the period, if you are involved in the news developmental process over the period, automatically you can come to that this story A is very important, B, C, D and are not very much important. So you might kill it something, you might recommend something, sometimes you have to highlight more. There are many factors placed in that process. And one of the important factors is in what way you are presenting a story. Are you presenting in a very objective manner, or are you presenting in a sensational manner? There's a lot of difference between these two. And remember that news is a business venture, whether it's a newspaper or television channel or portal. These are the three prominent outlets, news outlets. It has a massive impact. You know the media's role in the society. It's powerful and it can reach a large number of people. And since it can reach a large number of people, attract attention, the corporates, other social institutions, political, government, everybody interested to catch the large section of the audience. So they try to sponsor, advertisements are coming in the news portal or in the television channels or the newspapers. Not only that, they are sponsoring the content, means they are inserting their own content in the form of advertisements, and others are news. So one is news, another non-news. Non-news basically advertisements. Advertisement is a major revenue source for newspapers. Without that advertisement, a newspaper might be costing 10 times or 20 times more what's currently the market rate. So the advertisement, they have to rely on advertisements. Many times the newspapers or channels or portals, they try to create a sensation in order to attract more attention. And because more the number of people watching you, you can ask more money for advertisements from the corporates or political or government agencies who are sponsoring advertisements. So it's a kind of business tactic, one aspect of sensational part. Second aspect is, in order to promote some ideology, in order to promote some product, in order to promote a certain political stand or government project, newspapers or news institutions are being used. Remember that newspapers or news institutions are being used. One is an advertisement, business point of view. Another one is from the influence point of view. So newspaper or news portal or television channels are being promoted, instructed or influenced to highlight certain position there, certain points, certain news. So this is called sensational part. And basically the sensational is to attract more attention for specific reasons. Objective reporting is very simple and straightforward presentation. News has happened and they report as it is, they happened in this manner, and these are the people involved, these are the reactions. Very simple. They may not manipulate, they may not highlight, they may not degrade anything. A very objective manner they will present it. You can identify your own favorite newspaper or television channels, which way they are coming here. Are they sensational or are they objective there? So one is a newsworthiness based on which they are doing. Second is the way they are promoting certain news or way they are behaving in front of the audience. This is sensational or objective. These are broad categories on that. The whole process in the business interest and in the fact of promoting certain stories, presenting in a sensational level, or concentrating more on crime or celebrities, and the certain one component is common in all the story segment. One is ethics. Ethic in the sense, you are decided to present the story in a very objective manner. Means you are very conscious about your ethical standard, and or you decided to present the story in a very sensational manner. You're not bothered about ethics. Ethics is the normal. You can understand the definition. Is the doing something in a rightful manner. So that is a crucial in a news in order to make the society aware about the actuality. Remember that media is a fourth pillar of democracy. Along with the legislature and executives and judiciary, the media plays a crucial role in democracy, and they are supposed to be a watchdog. And you can understand the meaning as a watchdog is the media is the institution that monitors the performance of public institutions, public figures, politicians, government officials, everybody involved in the public life. So they monitor on behalf of the society to make sure that nothing goes wrong, that the actual money is being spent for society and everything that. For that you have to be conscious about your ethical standards. And very few institutions are very conscious about that. Many of them are, for the sake of business, they are sensationalizing many things like that. This may not be possible for the common people to understand which one of the news institutions or which component of the news institutions are compromising. They are biasness, they are taking a stand, they are sensational, they are objective. This is very difficult for the common people to segregate many things. We need a critical thinking on that. So that is a very important point for somebody to understand the news in the critical manner. Before going to that critical aspect of that, let us understand the different stages of news. We have discussed so far the definitions, the basic relevance of news, how it's being operated. Now let us understand how newsroom is functioning. How in a day a reporter or sub-editor or editor collect one story and process it and put it in the public. This is the manner in which the collectively all the journalists, all the editorial team work together to handle the individual stories, collate each other, put it in a first page, editorial page, a business or sports. They'll package the newspaper like that, or they'll package in a television channels manner, or they may go for the online portal. But there are certain stages involved in the news developmental stage. Primarily, we can classify news stages into four: gathering information, verification, writing, and publishing. This can be these four stages are applicable to all the news outlets, be it a newspaper, magazine, monthly or yearly or television channel, 24/7 or mobile or online. All the platform news goes through all the four stages. The primarily the reporter, the journalist assigned to respective field, for example education or politics, that person concerned with a particular city, whichever latest development happens, that the person collects the information from the concerned field or institution or source or maybe audience or maybe from eyewitness. So they collect the information based on the as we discussed earlier, newsworthiness. So this story is worth to go for tomorrow's newspaper or worth to go for today's television channel. They decide that. Accordingly, the reporter is being assigned to go to a particular event, collect the information, and once information, remember that reporter's role is to collect the information from multiple sources. A government official or the person involved in the news or third party or some documents or the public. So the news is being collected from various sources, and the information goes to the public. What is the guarantee that whatever information we collected is authentic or not? So there is a common understanding in the journalism in the newsroom is whatever in the crucial information that needs to be double checked. So that's called verification part. So once journalists collect all the information, They'll randomly verify all the facts and figures. Okay, this story is true. Whatever stand is taken by some officials is true, and they cross-check with somebody else. Once they verify the information, they'll write the story in a very systematic manner. The newspaper, it's being called as a pyramid style of writing. So they'll put the highlight important point in the intro, headline, intro, then they write a full story and end with the story. So the importance of information goes in a top priority in the first, then slowly goes in and least in the required information the last, because the newspapers are based on the layout design. If suddenly there is an advertisement comes, they have to remove certain story, or they have to cut short the stories and to make it smaller. How do we do that? Because the rewriting, it takes time. But once the stories are ready and they go for publications, they can't rewrite in as per the demand. So the best thing is they'll remove the last paragraphs, the least important information. Top information is available in the top part, couple of first 3 paragraphs you have got a full information, then secondary and tertiary and the least important information are present in a pyramid style. So during the design time, they can remove the point. This is the style in which newspapers are functioning, and television channels goes in a package matter. 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes, 30 seconds goes in a package manner, and required they'll put a package as it is, or they cut short with only the newsreader's presentation. And news websites are not constrained with the time and space. Newspapers are space constrained, television channels as time constraints, but a web portal or news portal doesn't have that much restriction on that. They might go full part. So this is the public stage. Information is being collected, verified, and written in a particular format, then they get published that part. And the very important segment in all the 4 stages is, if you want to make your news report very objective manner, objectivity comes if your information is reliable, accurate, and you're not misleading the public. How do we do that? We have to make sure that information is very accurate. Accurate in the sense, journalists should have informed to collect the information from the reliable sources, or double check the information, cross check with the literature, cross check with the own archive. So the journalist role is very important, as well as the newsroom people, copy editors or sub editors. They have to verify and cross check the information. This is in the whole news operation. Accuracy is very crucial if you want to make your news very objective manner. Then you can ask a question, what happens in a sensational part? Sensational part, the informations are distorted or twisted, or is framed in another manner, or a certain portion is highlighted in out of context. This deliberately has been a sensational part. Remember that deliberate attempt by the news institutions in order to highlight certain important developments to the society. Right. In that part, the main newsworthiness, news ingredients are being compromised. This, the common people like us, we have to understand that. The editors, remember that in the newsrooms are managed by many people. Journalists, copy editors, sub-editor, chief sub-editor, news editor, chief of bureau, everybody are being reporting to one person, editor. The editor is a person might be in charge for the particular edition, or maybe overall person. Mostly the editor is closely associated with the owner, the media owner, the newspaper owner, or news channel owner on that. Editor's role is very crucial part. Editor is the one implements the policy decision of the newspaper. Editor is the one who implements the interest of the owners being taken care, and editor is the one takes care about the circulation, advertisements. So the person takes care about all the aspects of news operations. As I told you earlier, news is a business, commercial venture. So the profit is required. Without profit, newspaper can't sustain for a very long time. Similarly for television channels, the profit needs to be earned. At the same time, ethics needs to be maintained. At the same time, objectivity should be implemented. At the same time, ownership in owner, who are the owner, whose interest is being taken care, as well as their main sponsors are not disturbed. These are all the factors editors should take in care while running the show. So this is very crucial part. In the whole operation now, the last 1 decade or more, the technology started playing a crucial role in advancing news production. Collecting information, that's quite easy for them to through online, through mobile, through phone, and other means the information can be collected. Particularly the verification, accuracy or authentication, it's quite easy to cross check that, and online platform is a more handy in terms of verifying the information, and delivery also quite important, because nowadays social media playing a very crucial role. Newspapers, they are publishing, news channels, they are broadcasting, but similarly, parallelly, 24 into 7, they are using online platform, particularly social media platform, to propagate their latest development to the large number of people. Uniquely, two-thirds of the media audience are younger audience. Younger means young adults, and they prefer to read more through mobile and digital handsets. In short, in a very in a pictorial format, or in a couple of lines and flash points, they want to learn more about the latest development in a short possible time. So this is a new characteristic of the audience. So the newspapers and channels, they have to uh, change their scenario accordingly part. So we have understood the news definition, how news being developed and delivered on that part. Here you have to understand that news stages, I told you that information collection, verification, and writing and publishing part. All this happening in one editorial stage. But if you look at the newspaper or TV channel or news portal, they must be covering a story from wide regions, entire country, entire global area, entire city. And remember that newsroom is a very limited of people only works, maybe 50 people or 25 or 7, depends upon the size of the business operation. So this limited people, how can they cover entire country? And because incidents are happening in every second, 24 to 7, something or other thing are happening, and editors or newspaper can't send the journalist to each and every event, not possible. And particularly the many news events are not happening without any notification. For example, accidents, calamity, and many issues are the newspaper or news channels can't predict that. Certain things they can predict, many things they can't predict that. But newspaper, they're supposed to cover everything. How do they do that? Remember that whatever the event, whether it happened or happening or a real-time basis, whatever thing, everything is being constructed. News is construction basis only. Construction means, I told you that the 4 stages, if you compare that, informations are collected from multiple sources. A journalist's role is to collect information. They might collect the information from the on-site level, or they might collect the information through other means via media. So informations are collected from multiple sources, including accident. Accident, if you look at the story on accident, it's being presented as it is somebody witnessed the accident. But do you think that a journalist witnessed the particular accident? The chances are very remote. But they collect the information from the police officials, from the people involved in the accident, or eyewitness, or relatives, government authorities. The informations are, all the information about one accident, they collect from everywhere, and journalists present it in a very logical manner, as it is being happening in front of our eyes. So this is how the news is being constructed and delivered to you. In the whole process, the construction process constructed by the individual, a journalist. A journalist is a human being. He or she comes from particular background with a particular belief system, particular ethical standards, particular understanding. So with that person's understanding, with that person's ethical standards, with that particular person's projected views, what he wants to be part of the newspaper, So that with that limitations, a journalist constructing a story, there are a lot of scope for information presented in one person's point of view. We may not know on all this point, right? And the language, the choice of words, choice of sentences, the way it's being presented, the framing, the position, and framing of the particular event, all depends upon one person. There's a lot of scope for biasness. I told you that if it is sensational, definitely they have biasness. And if the particular journalist doesn't like a particular institution, might present it in a different manner. Or if the person, the journalist, having a lot of interest in one story, might be presenting in a different manner. So all these small deviations were difficult for the editors to control it. It happens automatically because they are not able to control the choice of the words, choice of the perspective. Sometimes the editors or owners are instructed, journalists are being instructed to construct the information in that manner. The whole news process, the digital media and the news process, I told you about the digital playing a crucial role in the transformation of news consumption in the digital age. The media plays a crucial role, social media plays a crucial role, and social media apps, particularly through mobile, they plays a crucial role on this whole process. So the whole discussion, we discussed about the news definitions, news developmental process, how news is being constructed, and how it's being consumed by audience. So this is a program talks about the basics of news developmental process. Thank you.